Well, greetings and salutations, Series 7 test takers. This is a Series 7 guru coming to you from my studio here in fabulous Las Vegas with another explication request. The best free supplement to your paid study materials is my YouTube channel. But if you don't have a Kaplan Q Bank, I highly recommend it as a paid supplement. With my Guru 10 discount code at checkout, you can get it for $58.50. It is certainly the best in class. Has a performance tracker. You can do simulated exams. There's over 3,600 practice questions in there. So highly recommended. For that commercial, Kaplan allows me to give you a free look at Kaplan content like this. And here is the explication request from this test taker. I would warn you, there's only 3 or 4 margin questions on your exam, so don't overdose on margin. In fact, that's the title of my margin lecture. I will pin it in a link to that lecture, either a class review of margin or the lecture itself in the pinned comment and the video description. All right. When a customer sells $20,000 worth of securities from a margin account, all the following are affected except. I would highly recommend that you don't do this in your head. I recommend that what you do is make up an easy margin account and then do what it says, do a setup and do a mark to market. So if you're going to make up one like I'm about to do, just make up an easy one. So let's assume we're looking at a margin account that has $100,000 in long market value, a $50,000 debit, and $50,000 equity. That's the classical margin equation, which is long market value minus debit equals equity. And now I'm just going to market to market and see what happens if we sell the $20,000 worth of securities. So we had $100,000 worth of securities in the hypothetical I'm using here. I made up the numbers. Wouldn't matter what numbers I make up. I'm just illustrating that indeed this is what happens. So if we sell 20,000, if I'm a margin clerk and you sell $20,000 worth of securities, now there are $80,000 of securities in your margin account, and any money that comes into your account, I'm going to pay down your loan. And so, you owed us 50, and now I'm going to take the $20,000. I'm going to pay down your loan. So now you owe the broker dealer 30,000. Again, classical margin equation. We had $50,000 in equity. We still have $50,000 in equity. So the answer to the question is equity remains the same. There is no effect on the equity. By the way, if I continue with the mark, which I'm going to do now, I say, okay, well, Reg T is 50%. So 40, you have $10,000 in excess equity, more equity than you need. Now, for test purposes, I don't think there'd be any problem in considering excess equity and SMA as one of the same. They're not actually the same. I make create a holding tank for that excess equity. But again, I don't think it's something that'll mess you up on the test. So right now you could have $10,000 as cash, or 2 times that would be your buying power, 20,000. And again, we just illustrated that indeed, when you have a margin account, you sell securities, all of the ledger entries, long market value, debit, SMA, or affected. The only ledger entry not affected is equity. That is the answer to this question. So remember, inch by inch, your Series 7's a cinch, yard by yard, your Series 7 is hard.